Hello, in this video we will discuss about the cardiac cycle. Basically the cardiac cycle, the complete heartbeat we will discuss. So the cardiac cycle is defined as the succession of coordinated events taking place in the heart during each beat. So the each beat will cover the cardiac cycle. So again and again the continuously with the rhythmical sequence of the cardiac beat is known as a cardiac cycle. And let's begin to understand. So first of all, I want to again recap the heart and their part. So here is the structure of heart, which that is generally we can understand here. So this is the here is the blue color is showing that the superior and inferior vena cava. In this way, the superior and inferior vena cava will collect the blood throughout the body to move into the right atrium, and after right atrium to right ventricle and go into the pulmonary artery. So that is known as the pulmonary circulation. So we will also understand, this is the aorta and contain a aortic arch. And here you can see that is the aortic valve is known as the semilunar valve. And it is also the pulmonary valve is also known as the semilunar valve. We will discuss here. So this is the inferior vena cava and this is the pulmonary artery, which that is blood move toward the lungs for oxygenation from the deoxygenated blood to the oxygenation. So the inhalation and exhalation will be occur. So this all activities here, which that is the blood will move here inferior to superior vena cava and fall into the right atrium. And in this way, here is the atrioventricular valve are present, which that is open and the move into the ventricle, and in this way the pulmonary circulation will be occur through a pulmonary valve. And the systemic circulation is the circulation throughout the body. So here you can see, so the right ventricle and here is the left ventricle. So the pulmonary circulation is used for the respiration, for oxygen getting and carbon dioxide release. So here is the sinoatrial node, and the sinoatrial node interconnect with the atrioventricular node, which that is give the complete firing of the nerve through a nerve impulse, which that is lead to contraction. So in this way, here is I am drawing the again picture, that is the general picture to understand the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So first of all, I want to say that is the basically the systemic circulation is going into the aortic arch and descending aorta is also present. So in this way, basically the systemic circulation is used for the oxygen provide and other nutrients toward the tissues, which that is the tissue in our body for getting the oxygen for respiration, as well as the ATP production and the normal chemistry of the normal biochemistry of the human body. While here you can see that is the aorta, which that is transmit. And in this way, the pulmonary circulation will lead to pulmonary vein, which that is go and fall into the left atrium to left ventricle, and ultimately go through a semilunar valve through a aorta, descending aorta and ascending aortic arch, which you can see. And this is again the back circulation. So that is the systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. So I hope you are getting this concept. So let's begin to understand the cardiac cycle. In this way, each beat of the heart, which that is used, so the many heartbeat which that is transmit, basically each heartbeat is required for the pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So the events of cardiac cycle is contain atrial and ventricular events. So the atrial events contain atria is the systolic atrial systole is equal to 0.11 or 0.1 second required, and atrial diastole is used for the 0.69 or 0.7 second. So the ventricular events is the ventricular systole and ventricular diastole, which that is required 0.3 seconds. Ventricular systole and ventricular diastole required the 0.5 second. So the ventricular systole, we will discuss about this. Here you can see the isometric contraction. Isometric contraction mean we will discuss in the next. So here is the zero point 0.5 isometric contraction. It means the complete contraction during the all valves will be uh, 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 closed, so the pressure will develop, and the ejection period is equal to 0.22 hour, 0.2022 to 27. So the ventricular diastole is the proto diastole, is we can classify which that requires 0.04, and isometric relaxation is also 0.08, while the slow filling is requires 0.12 and last rapid filling is 0.11. And so let's begin to understand with the event of cardiac cycle with explanation. So here I am drawing here again the heart, which that is we will begin from here. Number one is the atrial systole. This number one is the atrial systole, mean the atria will be contract after the filling of the blood into the atrium, and before this the atrial systole, before the atrial systole, the rapid and slow filling of the atrioventricular valve are opened and ventricle relax and filling occurs. So that is we will discuss from here. So here is when the atrioventricular valve, basically the atrial contract and a small amount of blood enter the ventricles, and in this way the ventricle will be filled small amount without contraction. So the atrial contract will not complete even though the 20% blood will be filled into the ventricle. And the second phase is, you can see that, is the isometric contraction. In this way the all the valves are closed and ventricles undergo isometric contraction, and pressure in the ventricles is increased. So the pressure of the ventricle will be increased. So in this way the pressure of the ventricle will be increased. So in this way you can see the increasing of the pressure will lead to eject. So the third phase we will discuss is that is the ejection of the blood. So the semilunar valve are opened and ventricles contract and blood is ejected out, and in this way the blood will be ejected out and the systemic circulation will be occur, as well as the pulmonary circulation is also occur. Why? Because the collectively aorta will through the blood throughout the body, while the pulmonary artery used for the through our semilunar valve to open. So this one you can see here is I am drawing again to understand. So this is the third phase you can see. In this way the ejection, so the semilunar valves are open and ventricles contract and blood is ejected out. So in this way important thing is that the pressure of the heart will be increased. Why? Because the whole body is required the blood circulation, so aorta should be contain a much pressure. So the pressure will be arise from the ventricle. In this way the ventricle will be contract more and more, and in this way the pressure will eject out the blood. So in this way the ventricle will contract more and the semilunar valves are opened in this way, and the ventricle contract and blood is ejected out. So the fourth phase is drawing I am drawing here, you understand. So the proto diastole, this is the proto diastole, mean the dilation of the heart after the contraction. So the semilunar valves again closed. Why? Because the closing of the semilunar valve will not permit the blood backflow, and in this way the some disease, for example the semilunar valve rigidity will or heart murmur, which that is increase the sound due to the defect of the semilunar valves. So this is the period. First, the semilunar valves are closed at the end of this period. So this end of this period, the semilunar valve will be closed, and the diastole, protodiastole, will be occur. And this protodiastole is used for the dilation of the tissue of the heart, which that is the myocyte. So isometric relaxation is the 5 point. In this way, the isometric relaxation will be occur. In this way, the relaxation of the whole heart will be occur, and all the valves are closed. In this way, the valves will be closed, and ventricle undergo isometric relaxation, and pressure in the ventricle is reduced. So the ventricular pressure when reduced, so the higher pressure is present in the atria will lead to move and begin to move inside to the atrium after the opening of the atrioventricular valve. So the rapid and slow filling will be occur. In this way, the 20% filling without the contraction of atrium. While the atrioventricular valves are opened, ventricles relax and filling occurs. So the ventricle will be relaxed when the filling will be occur. So in this way, so here you can see the atrium will be filled with the blood, the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood on the basis of right and left atrium, and the closing of the semilunar valves. And in this way, the basically the whole valve will be closed, and the isometric relaxation will be occur, and the rapid and slow filling will begin through a contraction and without the contraction due to the opening of the atrioventricular valve. So that is done. So I hope you are getting this concept. So here we will discuss about with the graph to understand the pressure, where the pressure is more and where the pressure is less, and why the pressure is more. So here is the time wise I am explaining in this diagram, so you can see and understand as well. So this is the millimeter of mercury, that is the pressure measuring mechanism, which that is 0 to 120 millimeter of mercury, that is the pressure. So the phase 1 here is the atrial systole will increase the pressure, so the drastically decrease in the and begin again to the isometric contraction, and in this way the x and x1 will be occur. In this way the pressure will be decreased, and here is a VAA, which that is mean basically here is the protodiastole, which that is increase little bit and again decrease, and isometric relaxation will decrease the pressure. So that is why here is a rapid and slow filling is due to the atrial contraction, so the pressure will be increased. So here is important is this is the intra-atrial pressure. So this was the intra-atrial pressure, but the red color is showing that the another mechanism that is known as the intraventricular pressure changes. So in this way you can see the pressure will be more in the, here is the F phase, which that will begin more due to the contraction, intraventricular pressure changes. So this was the intra-atrial pressure. So the intra-atrial, and that's red color is showing that the intraventricular pressure, which that is more where when the ejection will be occur. So during the ejection the contraction will be more, and in this way the more pressure will be occur, and this more pressure here you can see that, and in this way the F wave, A wave, and B wave, and C, D, E, and F again you can see. So the A, B, C, D, E, F, that is the continuous mechanism from A to B to C, D, E, and F, which that we can say that is that during the ejection of the blood, ejected blood, which that is lead to increase. So the ACV positive wave, it means the pressure will be increased, while the X and X1 and Y is the basically the negative waves. During these negative waves the pressure will be decreased, while the increase due to the ACV waves due to the contraction and atrium contraction and ventricular contraction. So let's begin to understand here, that is the different mechanism. So we will discuss about the basically the contraction of aortic arch, aorta, and left ventricular pressure and left atrial pressure. So this is the left atrial pressure, is showing in the black line, which that is atrial pressure will be slightly increased, while the left ventricular pressure is more. So here is why, because the whole body required the pressure for the movement of blood. So here, so in this way, here is you can see the red color is showing that the aortic pressure, which that is more. Why? Because the more pressure required for the circulation into the body, so the backflow of the blood will not possible due to the more pressure in the aorta. So after the semilunar valve will be stopped. So here the atrial systole and isometric contraction and ejection, a period will require more pressure. So the proto diastole, in this way the proto diastole will drastically decrease the aortic pressure due to the building of the pressure inside of the heart. And here is the rapid filling and slow filling and isometric relaxation is here you can see. So the isometric relaxation will drastically also decrease toward the rapid filling, and atrial systole will begin again to increase the pressure. So this was the millimeter of mercury, which that is showing the 120 millimeter of mercury during the ejection period. So this we can feel in the pulse and blood pressure. So here is the milliliter of volume we will discuss. If so, the volume will be increased, ventricular volume increased during the filling time, and in this way that decrease the volume during the ejection. So that is the important things you can see, that is the decreasing due to the rapid filling, rapid ejection, sorry. So the filling will be increased, so the atrial systole will increase the volume, while here is the ECG show that is, as well as the phonogram, phonocardiogram, which that is showing in the figure, which that is also different, and we will discuss with the separate video to understand the ECG and phonocardiogram. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe.